And welcome to today's podcast here at Brands Hatch for the British Superbikes Round 5. So we're here today with Leon Haslam, British Superbike champion, World Superbike race winner, and obviously back this season with the British Superbikes. So Argentum Data Solutions obviously have decided to support Leon not just with his personal riding, but also the Affinity Sports Academy, which we'll come on to a little bit later in the today's podcast. So Leon, obviously, what I'd like to start with is just tell us a little bit about your career as a rider, and what we're interested in here is you're going from the a champion as a British Superbike level up to the world, and now how is it like returning to the British Superbikes?
Yeah, I've had a lot of good years in BSB. I finished runner-up several times. I've had over 300 starts in World Superbike, winning races. So for me, the level of racing in England is super high. I've raced pretty much all the different manufacturers. It's I think my 27th year in racing now, so it's really good to come back. In 2018, when I won it, I managed to get the opportunity to go back with Kawasaki, and with the whole COVID situation, it was a tough few years, really. I've been super excited to come back. Been formed a team with Lee Hardy Racing, and it's not where I want it yet. We've not got kind of the results that I'm looking for. We've made a podium at round 2. We need to start getting our finger out and start getting some more race wins.
Yeah, so I think we'll just capture on where you are positioned at the moment, and I think obviously I've had some conversations with yourself, and it's important to understand as a lot of these race teams and riders are many years into the development of their bike and so on. What does it take to get, or how long does it take, and more importantly, to get a bike to where you need it to be competitive in the sport?
Yeah, obviously it's timing, there's money, there's a lot of things involved with it. And in 2018, I rode the exact same bike. This bike's actually an upgraded engine with better tyres now. So I'm actually not close to where I was on lap times from 2018. So if I'd have matched what I do on the exact same bike from 5 years ago, then I'd be winning all the races. So I know the package is capable. I know that we're capable of getting it there. It was very, very last minute. And a lot of it is just basically no testing. I think we've done 2 hours of testing, and we're trying to get it to where it should be in the races. With DNF 4 races in the first 4 rounds, so it's championship wise has been pretty terrible. But I'm real confident in the Cowie. I'm real confident that we will get it. We did do a test last week, and we've got another 4 rounds before the showdown comes, and we need to get some podium credits, and it all starts again from round 9 onwards with this championship. So it's we've got a lot of work to do, but I'm pretty confident in what we can do.
Brilliant. I'm going to bring up a recent event which I found quite interesting, and it's just to highlight your sort of robustness and sort of hunger to race. Now, everyone probably knows you've had some spectacular crashes on that bike at some significant speeds. And there was one on the recently where you had probably a 6 to 8 inch gash on the back of your neck. And shortly after got back on the bike and managed to score points. So if you could just tell us, what's it like to experience that, and what was that race like as well?
Yeah, honestly, it was my mistake. That was one of the races that I was just pushing too hard, and had a little crash. It wasn't really a big crash at all, but the guy behind me ran me over. So I did have a big whack to the head. I was a little bit dazed. I obviously regrouped myself, and the last corner where I crashed, you literally have to walk alongside all the crowd to get to where the medical centre was. So I'm having a little walk of shame back, and every single person that I walked past was like, "Oh, no way, look at his neck." And I was like, "Oh, what have I done to my neck?" Everyone was like screaming about it. And it was a little bit of a gash, but we managed to get out for the last one, and it was a tough weekend. And it's for me, it was an unexpected to be tough, because I think I'd won 10 out of 12 races there in all the years that I'd raced there. So to be struggling to even make the top 5 that year with the issues that we had, it was, and then have a big gash in my neck, it was a kind of a tough weekend.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. So finally, before we go into the Affinity Sports Academy there, obviously, it's an up and down season. It's your first season back. We've already explained about, you're getting the bike to where it needs to get. Obviously, this works as with a showdown, which I believe takes place just after round 8. How do you rate your chances this season of making that showdown? So it seems your goal is to get into that showdown and see what you can do this year going into next year.
Yeah, obviously the showdown's a priority because then that resets and we can either go for the championship. I'm in quite a different position from 2018. We won 15 races out of 22, so we pretty much won every time we went out. And this year we're not at that level to even get the bike to challenge for wins. And for me, that's the main goal: working with the team, working with the bike, get some points on the board to make the showdown, and hopefully the next 2 months, 3 months of doing that, we will make the showdown, and then the bike will be in a position where we can try and win races. And like I say, we know we can do it. We just need to get it there.
And being in Brands Hatch, this place resonates with you, being so close to home. Also, how do you feel about being here back again? Do you know any shortcuts? A little.
Yeah, I've got a lot of mixed memories of this place. I lost the championship with a 30-point lead in 2017. I had to jump off with no brakes at 172 mile an hour. But then I had good memories the year after when I won the championship here. So yeah, it's racing, lots of ups and downs, and I was lucky enough to race here in the foggy era and 200,000 people sort of crowds, and it's definitely got a lot of history, and I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with this place at the minute.
Okay. What are the fastest speeds you hit on this track so far?
Top speed here, like I said, I jumped off at 172, so you're probably around 180, 190 is the top speeds here. Yeah.
Brilliant. So we're going to now the Affinity Sports Academy, which I know is obviously something very close to yourself there. Now, the Affinity Sports Academy, which is, you'll explain it a little bit better than I will, but obviously developing young riders throughout the sport. We've spoke to many of these young riders throughout today who have all said pretty much the same thing there, where it's the skill and expertise that they're learning in that academy on and off the track is what's been highlighted there. It's not just the racing, it's the entire package of nutrition, the media training, the mentality training, what they learn from yourself and your father, obviously Ron, in relation to this. What does the Affinity Sports Academy mean to you? And more importantly, where do you want to take that? And what's your plans with that school and what you want to do while you're racing and also when you come to retirement age as well?
Yeah, from my perspective, from early 90s, my dad ran a team called Team Great Britain. It was for British young riders, and we've had several riders live at the house all year long, and even now we've got, Jacob living there, Denise living there, the McManuses rent a place like on the doorstep. So it's more about, for me, it wasn't so much supplying the best bike or the best team. It was trying to create an academy to help people progress, and a lot of my career has been in World Championship, in Spain, in Italy, and the foundations over there and the support that they get and, the training programs, I would say the direction is so much more than the UK. I see a lot of young, talented people, not necessarily got the most money. They'll go and win a race and then they can't physically continue because the team wants 50, 60k out of them to go racing. And for me, this concept was to try and give them the best opportunity, not necessarily even to stay with me, but just try and help them progress. And if they are successful, then they get a free ride to continue in the academy. And eventually I want to try and have a representation in each of the classes, starting from the 400s to the Stock 6 to Super Sport, and have a superbike team. And whilst I'm still competitive, if I can get a young kid alongside me on a superbike and they've progressed through the ranks, then for me that is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, excellent. I think, again, we'll come on to, just to sort of finish off for yourself, Leon. You've covered it a bit there now. It's an expensive sport. As a young rider, all the way up to your level, where obviously, as the bikes get more powerful, and you increase level, the price of racing goes up. It is an expensive sport. So a lot of it comes from sponsorship deals. Obviously, you've got a sponsorship deal with Argentum here, and obviously many other sponsors as well. Now, what does sponsorship it mean to a rider of any level, really?
It's everything, you know. It's the reason why we go racing, and that's what I'm trying to teach the younger generation. You know, no one cares how good you are at riding a bike round a track. You know, it's about how you present yourself. It's about, you know, the market value. You know, hospitality. It's about ticking all the boxes, and a lot of my off-circuit stuff is about that. You know, it's there's a lot of fast riders out there, and you need to be promotable. You need to be, you know, promoting brands. You need to be saying the right things, and it's that sort of education, I believe, will further their career if they want that path, and obviously if they're talented enough. So, you know, it's recognising the talent, but then it's also trying to guide them in the best way. You know, from physical training, from diet to how you present yourself, what you should say and what you shouldn't say, and even dealing with teams. You know, I've rode for all the different nationality teams, you know, Dutch, German, Italian, you know, all the different sort of, I would say, different ways of handling people, and it's the people skills. It's such a wide range of people that the young rider doesn't see, and they could end their career very easily before it even starts, and it's that sort of education that we're trying to give them the best chance we can.
Sounds like you're concerned more for the new generation. Do you see yourself as like that big brother that you wish you would had growing up?
Yeah, I was very lucky. My dad was obviously a world champion, and I got all this drilled into me. So when I started working with young riders and helping people, it was just purely because they had the same interest in me. And, you know, Valentino Rossi set his camp up, and, you know, I took all the boys flat tracking the other night, and I was T-boning them and knocking them off, and that's the fun side for me. The racing is the fun side, but then I was really quick to see that I would say the lack of knowledge of, in my opinion, that was common sense in the sport. It's like, you know, you don't wear a different manufacturer top if you're riding for another manufacturer, you know, and just little things like that. I was like, oh my God, like they don't know this, and for me it was normal. So
it's second nature now, right?
Yeah. So again, it's doing it professionally. A lot of the classes that I run in now are the lower classes, but, you know, working in a way that they need to work in when they do progress, because, you know, that alone can be a big culture shock for a lot of young riders. So it's just working in that process, you know, and, you know, making sure they turn up on time and do these media events, do media training, or everything. It's a full package.
Yeah, brilliant. Excellent. So, yeah, thank you very much for obviously speaking to us today. This is Leon Haslam, and thank you very much, and we'll be back on soon. Cheers.